We've made it to the clock tower. What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. In the last episode, we got everything together for the cable car, and we got it moving. We were heading out of Raccoon City, and then Nemesis jumped us. So even though he got in the way, we still made it to the clock tower, and this is the one point that we need to be at to rendezvous with a helicopter. All we need to do is give him a sign, and the clock tower is where we're going to do it. It's one of the biggest landmarks in Raccoon City, so hopefully he can see and or hear us, depending on what we do. At this point in the game, I think it might be obvious, but you can't go back to Raccoon City. But also, as soon as we're done here in the clock tower, we're halfway through the game. This is a kind of a short game, but the clock tower is kind of infamous among the Resident Evil 3 players. This part of the game has one of the most obnoxious and well-known puzzles in all of Resident Evil history. It's tough. It's not a nice puzzle, and a lot of you are saying, oh, I can't wait till he gets to this puzzle. There's two puzzles in this game that are extremely obnoxious. The first one's in the clock tower, but we'll get there when we get there. Most important thing you need is the clock tower key. I would suggest, before you go exploring, stock up on stuff mainly for zombies. Stock up on your shotgun. One hit kills will help you save ammunition, and you're going to want that handgun ammo later. Oh. There they are. Yeah, from the looks of it, there was nothing bad in the clock tower, but trust me, everything is bad in the clock tower. Go ahead and put that away. It would be a good choice to save right here, because you're about to get into a lot of small rooms with a lot of enemies. So keep that in mind, and plus, you don't want to have to go through all of that in Raccoon City again. Trust me, after fighting Nemesis and the Gravedigger, the first option that you have for saving, do it. And there they are. So, yeah, you immediately get jumped by zombies. Get out of here and get out of here fast.
Carlos, I don't believe it. You're alive.
I'm not sure how we're gonna get out of this town.
What are you talking about? We made it!
You don't get it. They have no intention of letting us make it back alive. Do you really think we can trust their great evacuation plan? Huh, it's just a piece of paper.
But we don't have any other choice than to trust them right now.
No, if we're gonna die, then we should get to choose when it happens.
So that's it then, huh? You're giving up?
No. I can't handle it.
Oh, Carlos, you big baby. Well, if there's nothing here, I think I'm actually going to go search for him. I've never done this before. I'm going to go see if Carlos shows up in a different part of the clock tower. 1 second. Nope, he ran off and he completely disappeared. In that last cutscene we had where we were in the cable car, and we were able to, either jump out the window or press the emergency brake, Carlos disappeared. So, what I'm taking from that is, he jumped out the window to leave us for dead. So, he kind of... I'll let him pout somewhere else. I don't even want to talk to him. I'm glad Jill got to slap him. The item we just picked up, the mine thrower. This item, this weapon, I should say, is both good and bad. It's good because it's explosions. You get to shoot more explosive ammunition, and it's really good if the grenade launcher just isn't doing it for you. The drawback, the mine thrower is slow. It shoots slow, and the explosions are very, very slow as well. So it takes forever to be able to shoot something, and 2 to kill it. Another upside is it's very powerful, but just the fact that you have to shoot slow ammunition, wait for it to explode, I don't recommend using the mine thrower. It's cool, but not the best. Oh my gosh, that tune was obnoxious. It's way out of tune. This is another fun puzzle that you can find in the clock tower. Dud dud. Remember that combination. Actually, you know what? Forget I ever said that. Don't remember that combination. We're going to have to deal with a music-based puzzle later. And if you want the real solution... Ah, that's much more appealing to the ear. That one's in tune. And the combination you're going to need to know is Udo Udo. That's just the way I always remember it. Just seeing the U-D-U, U-D-U. Udo Udo. Just remember that for later. I mentioned it was a good choice to bring the shotgun along. Just consider that your best option. But if you want to use the handgun, you can. Oh, look, it's that puzzle I was talking about. But anyway, take your simple weapons like the handgun, the shotgun, because you will have to deal with some zombies, some higher level enemies, but they're not that big of a threat. So I would suggest if you have enough handgun ammunition, take that. But if you don't, just grab the shotgun. There is actually a lot that you can be a pacifist for in the clock tower. Like, they do put you in small areas with a lot of enemies, but they make it so that the situation you're presented with when the enemies show up, you have the ability to escape it before they attack you. So it's kind of a give and take situation where you have a lot of enemies, but you can escape them quickly. But there's items in the rooms that they show up in, so you kind of have to decide, now, do I want to fight them? Do I not want to fight them? Maybe I'll do it later, come back and get these items. I think I'll show off the mine thrower. There's one option I know where we can show off the mine thrower. Might as well do it now, just to show you what it does. Is there anything else in this room? I don't think so. Mainly with your primary weapon, I would say bring at least 2 weapons when exploring the clock tower. Bring a big gun, bring a small gun. And right now the shotgun is considered a small gun because, well, we have bigger weapons now. Weapons that do a lot, especially to bosses. So bring a small, bring a big. You probably won't need it because this place isn't too difficult. This is mainly a giant puzzle section. And I've noticed that Nemesis has started to do this with its game structure. You'll have a puzzle segment, a boss segment, puzzle segment, boss segment. And mainly whenever Nemesis shows up, that's the time you need to bring out the heavy artillery before you get to the next puzzle. And how convenient. I don't like the sounds of that. We're going to be using the mine thrower. And the only reason we came in here is for the clock tower key. Another clock tower key. Good, there's gunpowder around here, and for those wondering, this is where the cable car ended up. It ended up smashed into the side of this building, or the part of this clock tower. Wow. Oh, perfect timing. Alright, you hear that? Basically what's happening with the mine thrower is, it is firing, it is attaching to a zombie, and blowing up. It shoots very slowly, but as you saw there was about 6 zombies in that situation. That explosion dealt splash damage to them. That's another good thing about the mine thrower. But Still, with that being said, even though it does a lot of damage, especially splash damage, the splash damage can actually hurt you. So right now we've got 3 for 3 as far as the good and the bad of the mine thrower. I personally don't use it just because I think it's too slow of an item, and I'd rather have the grenade launcher. And plus, with all the gunpowder they give you in hard mode, you can make any ammunition you want for the best guns in the game, such as the grenade launcher. You just have to mix a little bit more gunpowder. But it's a lot more convenient than carrying around the mine thrower, which you can only load up to 6 shots. And if you try to reload the mine thrower when there's an open mine on the field, it will cancel. You have the option to do that, but it'll warn you, you're going to cancel out your shot, your mine's going to be useless. So let's say Nemesis busts in, and you shoot him with a mine dart, and you go to reload. The game will tell you, if you reload this now, your dart's going to disappear, and it's not going to do any damage. Mine thrower, it's good if you want to use it. I personally don't use it. I don't think it's that useful. Go ahead and give the handgun a rest. We're going to rock the shotgun for a while. You heard that too, didn't you? Oh yeah. That's totally happening. Just ignore these spiders. You don't have to kill them. And I'll tell you why you don't have to kill them, is because, well, you heard what's coming. So please, don't worry about the spiders. Save the explosion. And already we've made it to the top of the clock tower. That was way too easy. That one key we picked up in the room with all the burning zombies, that was its only use, was to get up to the top of the clock tower. Now, I actually really like how this entire segment of the game plays out with all the puzzles it has you do. Your main goal, make the clock tower chime. But how do you do that? Well, you have to solve 2 major puzzles. One having to do with sound, and one having to do with, well, it's the obnoxious one. Let's just leave it at that. Solving those 2 allows you to turn on the clock tower. And I don't know, I just love the feel of this segment. Like, it looks cool as well. And as soon as you figure everything out, especially the hard one, you have a feeling of accomplishment. But there's also that thought that you just heard Nemesis downstairs. Where is he now? Plus, I also like the little tune that you get to play here with this puzzle. So this puzzle will show you, or will have you play, the correct tune. And your job is to use the code you got from the other music boxes to make the correct tune again. Okay, so that one's clearly wrong, so we're going to go for Udo, Udo. That's what makes it easy. Just the setup of the HUD here I really don't like, because it goes, yeah, you can do up, down, or next, or back. And back takes you back to the letter before it, and it doesn't cancel. When you're going fast, I have a tendency to mess up stuff. So, up, down, down, up. Udo, Udo. Let's see. That's the other thing I love about the Clock Tower segment. It has a lot of clever puzzles, that one being one of them. So that's all based on what you can hear. I don't know, I just have a fascination with the Clock Tower because a lot of good stuff happens. Especially at the end. and just being able to solve everything on your own using the hints that the game gives you. Very cool to me. The one gear that we have, not good enough to start the clock tower. Gonna have to come up with a different strategy. Well, I got a brand new Chronos chain. Might be able to do something with that. In fact, there was one door that we couldn't open yet. I think we're gonna head there. Might as well, we have nowhere else to go. But I'm still concerned. We still heard Nemesis somewhere. Where'd he go? But before you get to find that out, some alternate choices that I didn't show you in the last episode because it only makes sense in this context. Here's what happens when you don't do anything while the train is colliding and you need to escape. Uh-oh. And they were never heard from again. This is an example of a QuickTime event or a live-action segment that is exactly the same as your best option. And actually, I would contest that, because the other option, while it does change up the formula a bit, technically, it's the better option. But this is the one I always play with because I personally think it's a lot easier. You get a lot more done in the path that I chose. So, not doing anything and pushing the emergency brake, this will bring you to the front of the clock tower. And plus, you get that nice scene where you're just looking up the clock tower. It's very cinematic. I like it. The other option is a lot funnier. Because your other option is to jump out the window. Now, I know Carlos did that. I swear he did that in the last one. So, later, Carlos! Right if you find work, let me know if you're dead. I have no idea how this works in a real-life scenario, but somehow we are inside the clock tower, or at least the building connected to it. And first of all, we're perfectly fine after we jumped out of a moving train or cable car window. But Carlos is nowhere to be found. And you end up in this room that would originally have the original clock tower key. Or at least the one that looks like a gear. But as soon as you leave that area, the zombies start showing up. So that's their trigger when you go look at the fire and then come back here. But in here, they switch around the location of the clock tower key, which is helpful, or else you wouldn't be able to get anywhere. By the way, these zombies are fast. Just like to throw that out there. They gang up on you very quickly. And I think that's all because of the problem of the cutscene. But there is another reason why you would do this. You end up in the exact same area, but as soon as you leave here, and this is why it's debatable on whether jumping out the window or using the emergency brake is the better option, because look what happens when you jump out the window.
Carlos!
Phew. Well, we both managed to survive. Maybe we can start helping each other again.
Yeah, it's been rough. But we can rest now.
No, we're the only ones left. There's no rest for the wicked. Here's a gift for you.
Out of the goodness of his heart and just the fact that he survived, I'm sorry I left you for dead, Carlos, but to be fair, you did it to me multiple times, you get free freeze rounds out of the deal. So, I don't know, you be the judge on that. They're both pretty good.